This is an amazing machine, this Stampin Cut and Emboss. So I'm going to explain how it works and what differences there is with our previous machine that was the Big Shot and all those different kind of things. So right now it's not available quite yet for customers. It will be available on September 1st. My goodness, September is coming up. And but of course we as demonstrators are able to purchase it ahead of time so we can try it and explain how it works and all that. So it's this beautiful machine like this. It's square. The handle, you have to assemble the handle, but they give you all that you need, including the Allen key to put it together. And then it opens up like this. So you have your surface to put your dies, etc., etc. So I want to show you, to compare a little bit. I'm going to put the Big Shot, our previous machine, next to it so you can see the difference and the similarities. So when it's fully opened, it's basically the same size. Hello Maureen, you just got used today? Yeah, I've been playing with mine a little bit here. Not too long, but enough to have fun with it. So it's about when it's open, it's about the same length as the Big Shot. But of course, when you close it, whoa, snap! When you close it like that, then of course it's way smaller. As for the width, it's set up a little differently. So the width of the machine again is about the same. However, it's a little bit bigger. But the main thing is the handle is quite a bit bigger. I don't know if I can show you the two handles, but this handle is quite a bit longer than the other one, and it sticks out a little bit more. So it's actually nicer to grab for anyone who has issues, arthritis or anything like that with your hand. There's a really good grip on this handle. So I really like that about that. This one is okay too, but it's it's a little different. But this one, I feel anyone with hand issues should not have a problem because there's a really good grip with it. So that's for the sizing of it. I was a little concerned that my Big Shot was going to give up before I got my new machine, because I got the Big Shot when we got it back in 2008 or something like that. So it's served me well, and I was getting a little concerned. So your machine also comes with all you need to do embossing, die cutting, and everything. So it comes with a platform, number 1, and another, I don't know, I don't think they have a name, but they have numbers. See, 1, 2, then 2 cutting plates that are number 3. I'll explain to you a little bit. I've already written on mine. And then number 4. And it's actually, you don't need to remember mostly how to set up your sandwich, because it's right here. You can see it. Or your Big Shot died a month ago. That would be really hard. Hello Jean, good to see you too. That's awesome. So what I really love about this is that, for one thing, it's really pretty in white. This is very clear as well. So depending on what you're doing, it tells you exactly what, how to set up your sandwich. So when you want to use, let's do the first one. Using thin dies, then you put number 1. Oh, let's open our machine here. So number 1. Then number 2, then number 3, then your die. So I chose a bunch of dies here. Let me see. Let's do this one here. Okay, the ornate border dies. Okay, it's very detailed, and I chose that one on purpose because it is detailed. And I was having a little bit of issues because it is a new die, and you can tell it's a new one because the cover is nice and smooth. With the older ones, the cover is pebbled, okay? Plus you have the name printed here. There's no name printed here at all here. The only name is on the piece of paper inside, okay? So you know that this is a new one because it's smooth and there's nothing printed at all on the envelope. The only name is on the piece of paper. The older ones are pebbled and you can see the name here. The older ones are a little bit thicker, not much, but just a tad thicker. So these ones being a tad thinner, I was having a little bit of issue sometimes cutting it with my Big Shot. So now I was excited that with this new machine it would work well. So let's do this one, which is quite detailed and small, and we'll use our beautiful magenta madness here and see how we do. So then I'm going to do number 3 again. Now I'm going to talk about this right away. So here I have number 3, and for myself I put 3B and I put some black lines. Okay, it doesn't come with the black lines and it doesn't come with a B. The reason I did that is because this is going to be my top plate all the time. Okay, I found with the Big Shot that worked amazingly well to keep the plates flat, because as you roll there is pressure and your plates tend to, you know, curve and then you can't use, yeah, it's just a bit of a mess. So when you always keep the same plate on the bottom and flip it, so you can check if there's any little bit of give, then you can use the other side. Okay, so if there's flex, you flip. If no flex, no flip. Okay, so actually there was a little bit of flex here, so I am going to flip it this way. Okay, but this one will always be on the bottom of my sandwich and get the basically all the marks in it. That's normal. There's a little bit of marks on this one, but it's not cutting marks. Okay, so this one will always be on the top. So there we go. You make your sandwich like this, and as per usual you run it through, and it runs through very, very easily. Now I used to put it this way, but see, there's not enough space there now anymore, so I have to get used to putting it this way. So that changes a little bit. And look at this, see the details? I didn't realize, here we go. I'll just rip it here. There we go. See how it all came? It's all cut beautifully. Very, very easy. And I was having difficulty with all the little pieces being cut in my Big Shot because it's just a little bit thinner. So now with my thicker dies, is it going to work? Well, yes it does. So here's one of the thicker dies here, and we're going to use these trees, which are fairly detailed as well with all the, oh, and I forgot to bring my take your pick tool, but anyways, we'll see. So I'm going to put these trees like that. Actually, I'm going to put them like that. The machine always likes it a little bit better when it's not a lot, like if you go like this, it clunks a little more than if you go like this, when there's a bit of a point and it's gradual afterwards. Oh, and maybe I want to clean these little pieces as well off my plate. So it's the same sandwich with this, even though it's an older one, a little bit thicker, but it's the same sandwich. So I'm just going to run it through. Okay, there we go. And my trees have been cut as well. Now these need a little bit more, help. So I'm going to bring in my sponge here, or whatever, I don't know what it's called actually, and my little brush. Now this little brush now is the old version. The new version attaches to the take your pick tool. Okay, and there you go. See my tree? There's a couple of little pieces here, but they come off. Okay, and this one is having a little bit more issues. That's interesting. Yeah, this one is not quite cut. Okay, so that's interesting here. With the older ones, there's a little bit of, yeah, you can see it's not cut quite through. So let's try that one again. We'll try them, maybe let's try them this way. So maybe I need to put a little bit of, that's interesting because it's a little bit thicker, so I shouldn't be needing a shim, technically. And you can feel it's a little tighter. I will check, and if it's not, well, maybe it's the die itself, because they're, again here, it's not quite, so it must be the die itself. I've not used these dies a lot. This one is nice, you can see it's nicely cut. This one, there's a little bit of an issue right here. So I'm thinking that it's the die that is maybe not quite. So I run it a second time. Let's see how it is this time. There, yeah, this time it's going to work. It will come loose. So I can use my little brush here. And if I had, Brian, could you get my take your pick tool? Please. I forgot to bring it. There we go. See, this one's perfect. And this one will be as well. It's just that it's stuck in there. Where is it? There we go. On the back of my die here. There, I got it. Okay. There. So it cut really well. Maybe for sometimes you may need to run them through a couple of times. Thank you. Okay, so we know that works. Maybe sometimes with a little bit more TLC, but it works. Okay? Okay, next, let's do, so it's repeated here too, your sandwich, okay, on this smaller one, on this number 2. So let's try now a standard embossing folder. So with a standard embossing folder, I have a number 1 and 2 number 3. So I'm not using number 2, and I'm going to use this standard embossing folder. And the standard embossing folders, so I'm going to show you how to differentiate because we have several embossing folders, okay? So this is an old one, and you can know because it says Sizzix as well as Stampin' Up. And it is quite flexible, okay? This one says Sizzix and Stampin' Up as well, but it is not flexible. So this one is a dynamic folder, an old version of the dynamic folder. And nowadays we have this kind, which is we call them 3D embossing folders. So again, you can't, like it's not flexible. You can see how this one, I can totally flex like very easily. This one I can't, okay? It's really stiff. And that's the new 3D embossing folder. So this is the one that has the instructions here because it's a new one, okay? The regular embossing folders, it doesn't matter. So we're going to use that sandwich. So number 1, which I have here, number 3, and for embossing doesn't really matter. Then my sandwich. So I'm going to use this piece of crumb cake here for the trees. And then my number 3 again, okay? And run it through. Habits. Okay, and here is beautifully embossed, and you can have fun with those trees. You can put a little bit of white ink on there to make them look more real, and it's beautiful. So it works perfect. If you wanted to make sure, let's do one of the new embossing folders. It's I think it's for the greenery, no? Yeah, I think it's a greenery folder, this one. Okay, so it's a new one, and you can see the thickness is the same pretty much as this one. Okay, and it's flexible, and it's flexible here. Okay, so we'll do that one. It's the same sandwich, and this is an interesting one that has both a top and a bottom. Actually, let's try and do only part of it. Let's do only this part here. Okay, so what you do, if I don't want to emboss this part here, I am going to put my plate just like that. Okay, that's a little trick here, a little advanced trick. Okay, it's a little more, there we go. Whoa, okay. And now I have only this part that is embossed, and the other part here is not embossed. Okay, but it works perfectly as well. Nice impression, and again, you can have fun as a background with that. You can add a little bit of color or just leave it like that, whatever you prefer. Okay, so now let's go with our 3D embossing folder, like the ones that are current, that you find in the current catalogs. So it's this one, 3D embossing folders. So we get a number 1, and then we use number 4 with our embossing folder and a cardstock in between. This is a beautiful folder, by the way, and I forget the name of it. It's in the August to December 2020 mini catalog. Look at these beautiful trees. So I'm going to grab my number 4 plate, this gray one here, and you want the hinge to be here, okay, first. Going first in your machine. Another thing, another characteristics of this machine, you can see there's a bit of play here. Okay, in the big shot it was really tight, whereas here there's a little bit of play. So if if I'm slightly crooked like that, or if my folder is slightly crooked, which has happened before, and then it gets all kind of damaged on the edge, well, it won't happen here because there's a little bit of play. Okay, so that's nice that way. There we go. So let's do that. The dynamic folders are pretty amazing, and they're a little hard to go through. No, they go pretty good. Okay, it's a little tougher to go through. All right. So number 1 and number 4, and we get this beautiful set of trees. Hello, Evelyn. Good to see you. Glad you could join us. Look at this. Actually, this side, I think. So it's, I don't know if you can see here. Again, if you add a little bit of white ink to make it look like the trees have snow on them, it's beautiful. So this is, I forget what it's called. But anyways, it's a beautiful 3D embossing folder that you can use with this, this sandwich here. 1, your folder and cardstock, and number 4. Now, you probably, just like me, have in your stash the older version of the dynamic folders, as they were called. They have Sizzix and Stampin' Up on them. That's how you know the difference. And they are not flexible at all. And they are significantly thicker than the current 3D embossing folders. Okay, so with that one, what you are going to do is you have to remember the sandwich that we did with the big shot. So I'm going to do a number 1 and my cardstock, and in my folder, again with my hinge here, but I'm going to use a number 3 plate. Okay, and that's all I'm going to be using. Number 1 and number 3, because number 3, you can see the thickness here compared to number 4. Okay, number 3 is thinner than number 4. So that's why we don't, because it is the folder itself is thicker, then we want to make sure we're not, and the machine will tell you if it's too thick. The machine will tell you. Never force your machine, and you're good to go. Okay, and that's a beautiful folder as well, the tin tile folder. Okay, and you get Amazing impression. Look at this. You can use either side of it. This one has more detail. This one has a little deeper impressions. Beautiful. So again, you can have lots of fun with that. If you have any questions about anything you want me to show, type them in the comments, and I will respond as best as I can. Yeah, it is beautiful, I know. You can do so many fun things with this machine, and all the dies and whatnot. So you get all the plates that you need, right? So number 1, number 2, 2 number 3s, and a number 4 come with the machine itself. Okay, and then after that you can get the dies and the folders and whatnot to just have fun and play with it. So it's I really like it. It goes very smoothly. It's maybe not quite as there's little feet underneath, and on my dining room table here, it's a little slippery. It's not quite as slippery down in my craft room. I have a feeling too that if you cleaned these, they would not be quite as slippery. So maybe it's something to do every so often, to clean these, to avoid to make the machine a little more stable. But I love, it's very pretty. It's quite compact, so it's easier anyways to transport than the Big Shot was, and I quite like it. All right, so now what time is it? Would you like to see some of the swaps I got? Because of course with the new catalog, then there's a new swap. So I could go through and show you the cards that other people have made that are beautiful. Would you like to see them? So we can put that aside, and so they're not in any, I don't think they're in any particular order, but anyways, so they're made with mostly items from the new August to December mini catalog. So here's a Christmas card with a beautiful, this is die cut again using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and this frame is die cut that way as well. Okay, and then there's this one. This one's cute. All I want for Christmas is you, with a little owl and shiny little snowflakes there. This poinsettia set, oh my goodness. I was not sure about it because I was afraid that it would be too thick, but really it works really well. She put 2 layers there of the flower and then 1 layer of the leaves, and this paper here is flocked. Oh, the feel of it is amazing here. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then she made it really, oh, look at this. I'm showing it to you backwards like that. So, but this is like this flocks. It's really cool. And this is velvet paper as well. So a lot of tactile on this card. Here's the poinsettia again in a completely different, with unusual Christmas colors here with the bumblebee. And you can see how it was cut. You can see it's cut. I don't know if you can see here. It's cut and embossed. There's some embossing on the leaf as well, giving it some dimension as well. I hope you can see. Yeah, there you go. So it's beautiful. And it's so easy to put together, right? With the dies like that. Okay, there's a coffee set, Warm Hearts to You, all season long, which is really fun. And see how it's embossed. Look at the details in the embossing here too. I don't know if you can see that. Very cool. This is a Halloween one, Trick or Treat. I think this is one of the ribbons. And then an embossing folder. Okay, so there's some beautiful fall cards. Your friendship is something I know I can count on. See, there's a beautiful border again here, embossed border. And then this is all die cut, stamped and then die cut. I love this one. In the blues like that. Very, very pretty. Here's another one with snowflakes, snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas. Some more snowflakes. So this one, there's some embossing snowflakes in the background. I don't know if you can, it's a little hard sometimes. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the embossed folder are amazing. I love them too. So this one is stamped and die cut, and this one are just die cut from cardstock. And look at this shiny ribbon, metallic ribbon. Beautiful. And here she embossed vellum on this one. So it's really pretty as well. I'll take it out of the envelope maybe so you can see a little bit better. Linda Yamamoto made that one. See, it's beautiful. The vellum was embossed. So when you run it through the machine like that, it gives that effect, which I really, really like. So there you go, some more snowflakes there. And look at this one. Whew, you have to like sparkle. If you like sparkle, this is beautiful. This is made by Leslie Popper. Look at the sparkle on this one. Unusual kind of colors. Can you see the sparkles? And then this was heat embossed. The trees were heat embossed, stamped and heat embossed there. So really pretty as well. This is the one I made with stamping and die cutting that. And then embossing also with Tasteful Textile folder here, which is subtle but really pretty. Hey, look at, there's a Tintile folder here on foil paper, which is beautiful. And it says, my heart says, thank you to be you. Beautiful fall card as well. Here's some cool colors too on this one for fall. Look at this ornate thing, and with the new machine there, it just cuts it beautifully. This one with some shiny paper here with foil. It's a beautiful card as well. They're all pretty. I really like them. So I have that paper, which is really nice. Now this one is so different. Celebrate in Style. Purple snowflakes and a detailed border as well. So it's really pretty. Here's another fall one, again with the foil here. Very fun. And the last one here. My heart is grateful for you. I guess that must be that greeting in French. This one. It's a little different, but same idea. So there we go. So that's all I have for you tonight. If you have any questions, or if you want to be on my mailing list, you can do that as well. I forgot to bring my little strip of paper, but you can go to bit.ly/listemboss, and you can be on my mailing list. And every week, well, most every week, I was a little missing in action here for the last few weeks, but anyways, normally every week you get a tutorial and some news and whatnot. So if you're not on my mailing list, make sure that you get on. All right, have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye bye for now.